In Hollywood, the stars shine the brightest on the biggest stage. Ronald hammers it to left center. That ball is history. There goes another one. His second homer as a married man. Last night, a California kid put LA's cast on strike. Swing and a miss. Another one. Nasty curveball, and Max Fried, back in his hometown, throws a masterpiece. Act 3 of MLB's premier show begins next on Bally Sports. Braves baseball on Bally Sports is presented by Truist. Back in Southern California for Game 3 of a 4-game set between the Braves and the Dodgers at Dodger Stadium. And back here in the booth at Dodger Stadium, Brandon Gaudin, Jeff Francoeur with you. Great start to this series for the Atlanta Braves. They have won the first 2. They go for a series win here tonight, Jeff. And, you know, it seems like we're always talking about how balanced this lineup is. That continues to be the case, but some of the usual suspects are hitting, starting with Ronald Acuna Jr.
Yeah, I was going to say, you start right from the top. That's your MVP, and what Ronald has done all 5 months is the consistency, model of consistency, but especially in August, he continued to rise to the occasion. 357, over 1,000 OPS and the 29 runs. Of course, been unbelievable. But Marcell Ozuna, to me, is the guy right now in the middle of this lineup that is really just on fire. 27 of the 28 games, but it's the power, it's the way he's hitting the ball, it's how hard he's hitting the ball. And then you move a little farther down the lineup and you get Michael Harris at the bottom, and all he's done is look at this since the All-Star break at 339. How would you like to have that in your 9-hole for in your lineup? It's unbelievable what he's been able to do.
And so look at this, that balanced attack. Doesn't matter where you are, the Braves are hitting.
No, and we talk about the length. That's what this team's been so incredible. Every other announcing crew that we talked to is just amazed at the length. And there you go. They're getting production 1 through 9. If 2 or 3 guys go in a slump, you have 6 other guys swinging it. And that's right now why the Braves are running away with just the whole National League.
And the pitching has been pretty good in this series and on this road trip as well. Bryce Elder will get the ball tonight for the Atlanta Braves. And when we come back, Kelly Kroll will talk to the double nickel, Bryce Elder, about his start here tonight at Dodger Stadium. Baseball is brought to you by Georgia Drive Chevy, by the Georgia Lottery. Today could be the day. And by Delta Airlines. Keep climbing.
We welcome you back to Los Angeles as the Braves go for a series win on this Saturday evening, and it'll be Bryce Elder taking the ball in Game 3. His first time pitching here at Dodger Stadium, and after watching the first couple wins the last couple nights, he said this is an environment he is looking forward to pitching in. And he's been throwing the ball really well. If you take a look at our StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud, this shows you how Bryce has been getting his outs. And you know the sinker-slider combination has been really good. He's also been able to mix in that changeup, the four-seamer a little bit, and having a lot of success. And he'll tell you a big part of that is also the defense working behind him.
I mean, for me, those guys are everything. Being a sinker baller, you know, there's going to be games where stuff finds the hole and I'm going to give up some runs. But for how much work those guys put in and how solid they are when it is hit at them, and even when it's not, and they go make plays. Without them, I'm not much. So I can't thank them enough, and it's a lot of fun to watch them when I'm not pitching, and a lot of fun to watch them when I am too.
Our GMC Making the Grade shows you Elder's numbers here in his last 3 starts. Of course, that's wins against the Rockies, the Mets, and the Yankees. His ERA 2.45, and he'll try to make that a 4th straight win against the Dodgers tonight. And in catching up with Rick Kranitz, he says that changeup should play really well tonight, and when it comes to the slider, certainly has to be down against some of the lefties in that lineup here tonight. But this is going to be a really good test for Bryce Elder, and certainly the Braves going for The series win tonight. Game 3, Braves, Dodgers, lineups. It's all on the way here on Bally Sports.
Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by your local Ford dealer. By the Xfinity 10G network, the future starts now. And by Truist, when you start with care, you get a different kind of bank. Quite a few Braves fans here at the third oldest ballpark in Major League Baseball, Dodger Stadium. Saturday night, Game 3, Braves, Dodgers. Let's get you the lineup for Brian Snitker's crew, presented by your local Toyota dealer. Ronald Acuna, 5 hits, a couple of homers, and 5 driven into the series. He's got that OPS back above 1 with Ozzie, Austin, and Matt Olson behind him, and the hot-hitting Marcell Ozuna back in the 5th slot of the order. Now that lineup is going to be opposed by a young rookie, Emmett Sheehan, 23 years of age, his 9th major league appearance, his 8th start.
Yeah, you see, it's his first start, Brandon, in about a month. See, 8 games, 7 starts. Throws a mid-90s fastball that likes to try to keep it at that top of the zone, and so taking it into forward keys, that's what this team needs to look for. That fastball. It's a great hitting fastball team for the Braves. And you know what, for Bryce Elder, just like May, beautiful start against these guys. 6 innings, 1 run, repeat.
Braves have won the first 2 in this 4-game set. And off we go here at 6:10 locally, 9:10 back in Atlanta, Georgia. Thursday 8-7, yesterday 6-3. Those were the scores in the Braves victories. Second pitch of the ball game is popped to shallow left. Rojas deep in that outfield grass will take it for out number 1. Ronald Acuna, even though he retired there, it's been a tough out all season, and the Dodgers have had a tough time handling him through the first 2 games with a couple of homers and the 5 runs driven in. But he's the first out here tonight, and now Ozzie Albies. So Sheehan, as Jeff said, it's been a while since he started. He was just recalled yesterday when the rosters went from 26 to 28 players. And he's had some successful moments so far, even though it's a small sample size. But his debut, he threw 6 no-hit innings against the Giants back in June. Here, however, Ozzie Albies deposits a single into right center.
That's a perfect example of what he's trying to do. Look, he got ahead of Ozzie 0-2, Brandon. He didn't try to trick him. He just tried to throw a fastball right by him. And again, if you do that to this Braves offense, man, you might be in for a long night.
Well, maybe they can take advantage of the young 23-year-old. So he had that outing against the Giants. Actually, he didn't get the win in that game. He was pulled after 6 innings, pitch count. And then the Dodgers bullpen would lose the game. And then over his next 7 appearances, he struggled. A 6.68 ERA, so they bumped him back down to AAA. And now recalled here in the final month of the season.
It's interesting talking to Oral Hershiser today. He told me that the first 2 starts, hitters were like 1 for 24 off his fastball. And then it kind of came crashing down. So I think he was more interested to see if he had kind of worked on the slider changeup combo with it.
Well, he's ahead of Austin Riley here 0-2. Austin sends this down the right field line. Long run over there for Hayward, but it goes fouling into the front row.
I don't know if you've noticed this series, but it blows me away the amount of 0-2 pitches that these hitters are getting good pitches to go on. And I think, you know, when you think about it, especially like I said, of this Braves offense, if you give them too many chances like that, you're going to end up on the wrong side.
And the Braves, the best 2-strike hitting team in baseball this year. Of course, they're pretty much the best hitting team in any category you throw up. That's something, though, that you and I have talked about. Younger pitchers, sometimes they'll give you something to hit 0-2.
Yeah, the problem is, as we talk about it, there's such good stuff. Their fastballs, the velocity, the spin, but sometimes they just struggle with command.
And that's where I think there's a fine balance. Look, you got to have stuff to pitch in this league. You're not just going to go out there and throw it right down the middle. But I think you also can see guys like we talk about, Jesse Chavez, you know, different guys that if they locate, they can be just as effective.
Good pitch there down in the zone. Got him with a changeup. And there are 2 away here in the top of the first.
That was a good pitch. You think about it, too, for some of these Braves hitters, you know, it's one thing to watch them on film, but again, you've never faced them, so you're not quite sure what he features.
Well, Matt Olson chewing on the gum as he digs in with 2 outs and Ozzie down at first base.
Someone asked me today if I thought Matt Olson needed a day off, and I said, you know, you always think about that sometimes when a guy's struggling, but I said whenever you say, yeah, maybe he could use one, it's usually when he hits a home run or 2 that game.
Hitless in the series, 0 for 10.
Man, I think for this Braves lineup, the length of the lineup we showed you in the open, 1 through 9, if a guy is struggling like Matt, he's got ample room to kind of figure it out, and if you're not great for 7 days, oh well, the rest of the guys are.
Well, it's been 17 games since he's homered, but think about this, Jeff. In those 17 games, the Braves have won 14 of them. That's quite a luxury.
Yeah. Yeah. Most guys, if your 4-hole hitter goes cold, you're going to struggle some.
Braves are 14-3. There's a strike at the knees, 1 and 2. And not only the Braves 14-3 in the last 17, but with the 2 wins here against the Dodgers, they have opened up a 6-game lead on LA for the top spot in the National League. Well, the home run drought almost ended, but he's a little ahead of it.
Try to go back to that changeup, and this time he pulled it a little bit more over the plate.
So still 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 away here in the top of the first. Sheehan deals, and the count runs full, 98 on the top shelf there. One of the hottest hitters in baseball waiting on deck. Ozzie breaks for second with 2 outs. He's going to be able to trot in there because that pitch misses, and it's a walk to Matt Olson.
Some good takes there too. Sometimes that helps. You start seeing pitches like that. Helps you get back to where you want to be. Now you bring the right guy up.
We showed you the numbers before the game started, but Marcell Ozuna over the last 28 games is hitting .398. He's hit safely in 27 of the 28. And he's got 10 homers and 10 doubles in that stretch. Well, the other thing you do here, Jeff, is you're making a young rookie in Sheehan work in the top of the first inning a bit.
Yeah. That 11-game hit streak, the OPS over 1,700.
1-1 to Ozuna. Now, before that 11-game hit streak, he had a day without a hit, and prior to that, it was a 16-game hit streak for Marcell.
Yeah, remember he broke that hit streak, and then that next night he got one. I think we kind of joked around. All right, well, now do it again. Well, it's getting close.
It's 5 games away from tying his career high as far as a hit streak goes. That one bounces away from Barnes. However, the runners stay put. It's not Will Smith behind home plate tonight. It's Austin Barnes. And matter of fact, it's his bobblehead night here this evening at Dodger Stadium. His wife Nicole even threw out the first pitch.
Kind of got to be in the lineup, right? If it's bobblehead night.
Be tough if you weren't. Might be an awkward situation. Ozuna down swinging on the sweeper from Emmett Sheehan. On to the bottom of the first. Get a couple of base runners, but don't scratch anything across to the top of the first. Mookie Betts leading things off for Dave Roberts' lineup, presented by your local Toyota dealer. Betts and Freeman. Smith is still playing tonight, even though he's not catching. He's just the DH and batting third in the order. And Bryce Elder making his second start against the Dodgers in his career, and the first here at Dodger Stadium.
Yeah, and I think one thing for Bryce that's going to be key today is, look, last time only 1 walk when he faced him. He only had 1 walk in Colorado. Before that, though, 11 walks in 4 games. So, again, this is a lineup you just can't give too many free passes. There's too much damage.
Well, he starts off in the zone to Mookie Betts. And another good pitch. Mookie had 2 homers Thursday night, but yesterday he was hitless. And then with the Dodgers down 6-0, Dave Roberts elected to pull he and Freddie Freeman for the final couple of innings. And then the Dodgers had the 3-run homer by Colton Wong. But ultimately the Braves held on.
Yeah, I joked with Freddie. I texted him last night after the game and told him it's finally got some pop in that part of the lineup. He said, "You're right. I'm a double sitter this year."
He leads the majors in that category by a wide margin. 51 doubles for Freeman. None in this series, though. Now from 0-2 to 3-2. Mookie Betts, who had that unreal August, hitting .455 with 11 homers. Now the calendar flips to September. And that one comes in and finds his bat. I mentioned it the other night, but he's now a piece of Dodger history with 51 hits in the month of August. There's only 2 Dodgers that have had 50 hits in any month since World War II. Willie Davis and Jackie Robinson. But here Bryce Elder gets it. Slider downstairs and a good start for number 55.
Boy, what a great pitch. And you can see Mookie was mad at himself. He knew it right away. And that's when Bryce keeps the ball down out of it for a hitter right there. When that ball leaves the hand, you think it's the 2-seamer coming back in. And then all of a sudden you see it. As a hitter, you can't wait that long. So if he can keep that ball down, you'll see him get swing and misses like that.
Kelly highlighted that slider and the sinker prior to us going on air tonight. Freddie Freeman left center, and Michael will have to take it off a bounce. So a 1-out single for the former Brave.
I like Bryce's approach here. Just go ahead and get it over with.
You know, like we said the other day, a single to left center?
Yeah,
okay,
that's what I'm
fine.
saying. I'll try to get a double play ball here instead of wasting 7 pitches.
And Bryce has been able to get 23 double plays when he's on the mound this year. That's the second most in baseball. Logan Webb of the Giants, 24 double plays. Good pitch, 1-1 right at the knees. That slider, though, for Bryce, it took care of Betts. That's the pitch that he's increased from 27% usage last year to 37% this year. And it has been very effective. Liner, but right at Ozzie. 2 away.
Got a guy there.
Perfectly placed.
As a hitter, that's a bad feeling when you're squaring up and you don't even want to move out of the box because you see him right there.
Great feeling for a pitcher, though.
Yeah.
So here's Max Muncy as Sean Murphy blocks it behind the dish. Sean got something in his eye. Now Sean's okay. Home plate umpire tonight, by the way, Mark Ripperger. Phil Cuzzy down at third. Dan Bellino second. Shane Leibensparger at first. Ozzie with another chance. A liner and now a bouncer to him. A single from Freddie Freeman and nothing else. On to the second. As we go to the second, we go on the road with Georgia Drive Chevy and the Braves in this road series, this road swing, I should say, 3 series, 7-1. 2 more games left here in Los Angeles, but it has been a very successful road trip.
Yeah, and you remember in Chicago and Pittsburgh when everybody was worried about the rotation one time through. Well, all Strider, Fried, Elder, Morton have done is combined for a 2.84 ERA. I think they're all right.
I think they're okay. Those 4 guys, Strider, Fried, Elder, Morton, their last 15 starts combined, they're 14-0. The other game was a no decision. That'll play.
Yeah, that'll work.
Eddie Rosario ahead of it. Home run distance, but foul.
It's like he just shows up and sees that Dodger blue, and it's
like a neon flashing light.
Yeah,
he is
comes
ready
a different guy.
Ready to rock and roll. Eddie had a very good August. Hit .312. Kind of like his June. His June was .325. His August .312. Those are his 2 best months so far. And now September as everything heats up as we get closer to the postseason. One-two from Sheehan, and it's high to even the count. As a player after this road trip, your last real long road trip of the season, Jeff, do you kind of exhale and just, you're going back home, you know you got the big lead, and you feel like, okay, we can re-energize now for the postseason?
Yeah, and then you know your 2 road trips left are on the East Coast, a little easier to stomach. It's, yeah, give you a chance to relax a little bit, unpack.
Because what's been great about this road trip, aside from the winning, cooler temperatures.
Yeah.
But it's a long swing. You come out here. Big time change from San Francisco to Colorado and now to Los Angeles. Three-two to Eddie. And we'll do it again.
I just remember used to saying, talking to guys like, every once in a while, you wouldn't mind if you come out here for 2 weeks, play 4 or 5 teams.
Get it out of the way.
Yeah. I'm sure schedule-wise it's hard to do that, but.
It's the Braves' 3rd and final trip west this season. And Eddie Rosario, good eye. A leadoff walk in the second.
Sure, that most of the West Coast teams don't feel too bad, though, because they're majority time coming to the Midwest or East Coast.
Yeah. Talked with a lot of the other crews about that, and it's different for them. They're always changing time zones.
Well, yeah, and I don't feel like you can ever complain to the Seattle people.
No.
They don't want to hear it.
They have the worst travel in baseball. There's no question. Now Sean Murphy. He was 0 for 3 in game 1 of this series, and then yesterday Travis d'Arnaud got the start and had a great game, solo homer and a single. Grounder to third. Muncy trying to start a double play, and he does. 5-4-3, 2 out.
And Murphy frustrated, got an off-speed pitch there and just kind of rolled it over. That's another thing. This infield is so fast here that that ball gets to the infielders a lot quicker in most stadiums.
Well, third base with Max Muncy there has been a question mark for the Dodgers, especially as of late. He has struggled. He's made a couple of errors in this series, but a routine 2-hopper there to start the double play. Orlando. I think Mark Ripperger was fooled by the quick glove work of Austin Barnes behind home plate there.
Oh, it's 4 or 5 inches off.
And now 1-2 as he throws him the slider. Sheehan, the rookie, he's a Northeast kid by trade, born in New York, grew up in Connecticut, pitched at Boston College, and then the Dodgers drafted him in the 6th round 2 years ago in 2021. And now here tonight making his 9th major league start. And he gets Orlando on a sweeper. So a walk, but no damage done in the top of the second. Sports is presented by Truist. Packed house tonight at Dodger Stadium. On to the bottom of the second. Saturday night, Braves Dodgers. Thanks for joining us. Brandon Gaudin, Jeff Francoeur, and Kelly Kroll with you. Peralta takes a first pitch strike, painted on the outside corner. Shoots this the other way, and that's trouble. All the way out to the 330 sign. Stand up double.
A good piece of hitting here when you're facing a sinker baller like that. That's kind of the approach you want to have. It's tailing away like this. Just go with it. That ball was hit hard. Rosario's trying to cut it off, but then had to go to the wall. It's one of those outfields here where if you get going and you don't get to that ball, you can end up chasing it for a while.
And Peralta has been around, been doing it a long time, 36 years of age, 10th major league season. And he gets himself in scoring position with nobody out. And now Jason Hayward, the batter. And you know the Dodgers are hungry after losing the first 2 games in this series. They still are tied with Baltimore for the 2nd best record in baseball at 83-51 coming into today. Weak swing there, 2-1.
Good slider. You could see he was trying to cheat on that sinker and get started early.
This time he bounces it foul. Another slider there from Bryce. Evens the count at 2-2. Downstairs, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Jason Hayward, always a big presence in the batter's box, 6'5", 240. Elder with a payoff pitch, and he throws him on the inside corner with a sinker, and there's one away.
And there's that front door sinker. What a great pitch. Look at that thing come right back in there. Good job by Murph. And that's that pitch. If you could bottle that up.
Because there's absolutely nothing a hitter can do with it, right?
You can't pull the trigger. It's almost impossible.
Outman first pitch swinging. Ozzie and Orlando there. Ooh. Orlando reaching in front of his buddy Ozzie to take it.
I kind of got to agree with Ozzie here. He's looking at him like, do you see where I'm at?
It definitely
he's telling him stay on your side of the field.
It definitely was in Ozzie's territory. There's no question about that.
But shortstop's the quarterback. And that's probably what Orlando's going to tell him. Get out of the way. These boys have some fun, I'll tell you that.
They do. And it's always enjoyable to see. Well, Elder trying to get out of this after giving up the leadoff double to David Peralta.
Not only that, but you love the quick out, the one pitch out, keeps that pitch count down.
This will be the 24th pitch so far tonight as he faces the shortstop Rojas. Bouncing way in front of home plate. And Bryce now on the season, he's over 155 innings pitched. They're watching that as well. He threw 159 last year as a rookie. Of course, a lot of that was at the AAA level. This ball's going foul down the first base line. And a souvenir for a young Dodger fan. Line, but Ozzie's there again. Similar to when Will Smith hit it to him in the first inning. Good job by Elder to work his way around the double. Our T-Mobile coverage cam as the Braves having a little fun. Orlando steals it from Ozzie, and then watch Michael Harris here in just a second.
This is the best part.
The diminutive second baseman did not take too kindly to that.
Do you think Ozzie's like, look, guys, I've heard all the short jokes, you know? I get it.
And now Michael Harris, who has 3 hits, including a homer in the series, leads off in the 3rd inning. Getting back to Elder, though, Jeff, how many times this year have we seen him get a guy at second base, no outs, 1 out like that in the bottom of the 2nd, and he works his way out of it.
Yeah, I'll give him this. He battles and makes pitches when he needs to. And a lot of times, because of some of these righties, if you get a guy in second like that, North, he's able to get the ground ball to the left side, which gets you the out and keeps the guy at second. That time he struck Hayward out, but great job.
Now 1-2 to Harris. Bouncing in. 3 strikeouts already for the rookie Emmett Sheehan. Michael hitting .339 since the All-Star break over a 44-game span. Continuing to raise that average. That one comes in on the hands. And the payoff pitch to Harris is fouled back. I mentioned Sheehan has 3 strikeouts. He also has 2 walks, so only a couple of balls in play so far tonight by the Atlanta Braves hitters. This will also reach the seats.
Good job by Michael. Fighting them off.
And that gives us another payoff pitch. And this one is in play. So Sheehan is going to win the battle as Muncy gloves it. Folks, you know what time it is? It's time to go below the surface. Brought to you by Georgia Aquarium. Look at these guys. Acuna, 2 seasons, joining Murphy and Hank in this category.
I'm going to take you a little further below the surface.
Okay, get your
10
scuba gear.
games this season with a steal and a homer, most in all of baseball. How's that for you?
Not too shabby for the front runner for the National League MVP, Ronald Acuna Jr.
And this is where we see the Braves a lot of times. The second time through the lineup, I like to keep an eye on. They face Sheehan now. They've all see what he's done. Get a little better feel for his fastball, what the off speed's like.
Well, there's so much tape today, even from guys coming up from AAA, right? So there's the scouting reports, all the analytics. But, Jeff, it's got to be different the first time you actually step in there and face the guy, right?
It's like you said, I've faced 95 from 100 different guys. They all play different. You know, how it comes out of the hand, the spin, the cut, sink.
Acuna smashes this to center. Don't even bother chasing it. My goodness. A homer in all 3 games in the series. And Ronald Acuna is saying, MVP? That sounds pretty good to me. 454.
Ronald's quickly become a villain out here in LA. What do you think?
Yep. And he doesn't mind it one bit.
I love it. Oh, center cut. It's a long ways. All the way in the back of the net. And that ball was on a line, too. 0 lift on it.
454 feet. So the homer he hit on Thursday made him the first ever member of the 30-60 club. Hit his 31st yesterday and now his 32nd here in the 3rd inning of Game 3.
You got to check with Kelly if she ever took that bat yesterday that they were going to send to Cooperstown or whatever for him.
Now Ozzie with an encore down the line. Made a big turn, but Hayward got to it quickly. How about this for that Acuna homer, Jeff? It was 121 miles per hour off the bat. That is the hardest hit baseball in the major leagues this season.
It sounded like it, I'll tell you that.
It looked like it.
Like it came out of a cannon. So I said there's very few guys, you know, I think in almost every sport it's different, but in baseball, as a position player, the sound that comes off the bat, there's very few that sounds like that. And there's a lot of sluggers on this team, but it's unbelievable. And the torque he gets, we talk about it all the time. There's no bat wrap. There's no, takes it from A to B.
And Betts had a couple of homers in the first game of the series, but I think Ronald Acuna is making an MVP type statement here in Los Angeles. Late on the fastball is Riley. He goes down swinging for the 2nd time tonight. 2 away.
It's going to be quite a weekend for Ronald to remember.
Oh, yeah, the marriage.
Yeah, if you weren't
Throw
with us
that
or
in
hadn't
there.
heard, I don't know how you haven't, but he got married on Thursday.
Quite a run for number 13.
You know, you hear guys when, you know, they have kids, the dad pop. And for him, it's like the marriage pop.
You mean the old man strength?
Yeah, that's
like
what I'm saying. Yeah, but usually
Yeah.
it's when you become a dad. Maybe
Right.
it is when you get married.
Yeah. He's got the 2 kids. 2 of the cutest kids you'll ever see. A strike on the outside corner, 1-1. Well, we said yesterday, Matt Olson joked, man, maybe I should go renew my wedding vows
Yeah.
if that's what happens.
Probably find Matt a nice spot Monday somewhere in Atlanta.
It's an off day.
Yeah.
Team will get back pretty late because the start here tomorrow a little after 1. Of course, that's 4 back home, and by the time you make the long flight east, good thing there's a day off on Monday. Two and two.
It's funny. Sometimes when a team's playing well, you'll hear guys say, "Yeah, I wouldn't want a day off." And most of the time, I say it's true. But these guys, even when they're playing well, they have a day off. They pick right up where they left off. It has not affected them at all this year.
Pretty good pitch there from Emmett Sheehan on the changeup to take care of Matt Olson. But the Braves have the lead. Some guy named Ronald Acuna Jr. is pretty good at baseball, and he does this a fair amount. 454 feet. Ronald Acuna Jr. gives the Braves a 1-0 lead with a long homer to straightaway center. Now we go to the bottom of the inning. And the first pitch is fair down the left field line off the bat of Barnes. So the backup catcher with a lead-off double here in the 3rd.
We'd say bobblehead night.
Well, that's just how the bottom of the 2nd started with a double from Peralta down there.
Just inside the white chalk.
Maybe he is inspired by his bobblehead being given out to 10,000 tonight. Top of the order here, Mookie Betts.
Only 10,000?
I think that's what they said. You want to talk to somebody about it?
I gotta pump that number up a little bit.
The Braves usually do 15 at home.
Man, this place holds 56.
Big yard. This, the Coliseum in Oakland, and Coors Field, 3 largest stadiums in baseball. Elder 2-0 pitch to Mookie is nowhere near. There's a strike at the top of the zone, 3-1. Hitter's count as Elder deals. Downstairs, he walked him. So 2 on, nobody out, and Freddie Freeman, the hitter. Freddie singled back in the 1st inning. The first pitch from Elder does not get the call, 1-0.
Not a bad pitch.
Did not miss by much, if at all. Dodgers are trying to strike right back after the Acuna homer. And Sean Murphy, sensing that Elder's a little off, is going to go out and chat with the hurler.
Well, I think you got to get him back, say, look, you know, get him to put something in play here. I'm not saying feed him something down the middle, but again, one of the keys tonight was limit, to me, the walks because of this offense. You give him too many free passes, again, with this lineup, too, the length of it. Just takes one guy to kind of make you pay.
And even though the Braves are #1 in pretty much every offensive category, right behind them in nearly every one of those categories is this Los Angeles Dodgers lineup. Home runs, runs, on base percentage, slugging, all 1-2. 3 balls, no strikes. Another walk. They are loaded.
Yeah, it's a good mound visit by Rick Kranitz coming out because they gave Bryce Elder that 3-0 strike to Mookie Betts. Ultimately, he's throwing 9 balls in a row here, so just give him a second to try to regroup.
Well, you mentioned it earlier, Jeff, but the good thing about the start in Colorado, he only walked 1, but the walks the previous couple of starts had begun to creep up a little bit.
Well, and you look at the difference, like, you know, some of those that he did versus the Yankees, he walked 3, he only gave up 1 hit, and that lineup's not the usual lineup you're used to seeing. So we've seen all year, Bryce has done great work versus plenty of lineups that are darn good, but this particular one here, you just, especially where they're at in the lineup here. See if you get something on the ground here.
Exchange a double play for a run.
Yes. With 3-4 and the bases juiced.
Will Smith lined out to Ozzie Albies back in the first inning. Fouls this back 0-1.
It's always a dangerous pitch because you got to know that guy's trying to finally get ahead the pitcher. Some hitters take, I'm going to make this guy throw a strike, but you see Will Smith was aggressive.
Here is the ground ball to short. That is a tailor-made double play. The run does score. It's 1-1, 2 away.
Yeah, that's exactly what you wanted right there. Look at that. See the depth of that pitch right there? All you can do is hit it on the ground. You hit it halfway decent, but right out of Orlando for a tailor-made 6-4-3. Now you got a chance to make one more pitch and get out of this thing with only 1 run. You're ecstatic.
Max Muncy is the hitter, and the pitch way high. Mookie Betts is down at third. Muncy 1 for 9 in the series, has only hit a home run. That was on Thursday. He skies this. Harris camps, and Elder does a good job of getting out of it.
Beautiful job right there. Beautiful job. We head to the 4th.
Marcell Ozuna leading off. He's on another hit streak. Our Blue Moon Bright Spot feature tonight. Ozuna, most hitting streaks this year of 9 or more games. 5 of them for Marcell, most in baseball.
Yeah, he said safely of 27 of the last 28. And Poppy's first 18 games this year hit .85. His last 100 games, .302.
And where did he turn things around, Jeff?
South Beach.
That's right. And that's since May 1st you saw those OPSs.
You should like it here then. There's some palm trees out here.
It's been interesting weather, though. It rained quite a bit today, and we had some drizzle yesterday as well. You don't see that very often here in Southern California.
Heads up, Wash.
That thing was scorched, but Wash not tall enough for that to affect him.
Speaking of scorched, I think one of the more impressive stats was the home run by Ronald at 121.1. The other highest this year, 118.6. Ohtani and Matt Olson tied.
So it's not even close.
No.
That was by far the hardest hit ball in baseball this season. It's the 6th hardest hit baseball in the StatCast era, that Acuna homer, and that era goes back to 2015. This one is angling for the seats.
Yeah, what, O'Neal Cruz, I think.
Yes.
Had the hardest hit ball. Off Kyle Wright.
At 122.4. So Ronald not too far behind.
Yeah, but that was just a single.
Ronald's went 454 feet.
On a line.
On a line. A frozen rope to center. Inside, 3-2 to Marcel. Well, Sheehan, even though he's only given up 1 run, 67 pitches, he has had quite a few 3-2 counts, and here's another one. Five strikeouts for the rookie, 2 walks. And there's a 3rd walk. That's the other thing that Marcell Ozuna has done so well in this stretch of games. He's earning free passes. 14 of them now over the last 27. And now Eddie Rosario, he also walked his last time up. He swings and misses there through the changeup. The rain today, though, did not affect you, Jeffrey. You took in quite a bit of college football before heading over to the park.
I would have had no idea what I was doing outside. It's a great day.
You did room service and wall-to-wall college football. You watched Coach Prime and the Buffaloes take down the TCU Horned Frogs.
I'm a Clemson fan, but I got to order a Buffs hat, man.
You're on the bandwagon already?
I am all over that bandwagon.
A lot of people are. That was a very entertaining game. 1-2 here as Eddie tries to protect the plate. And he's out in front. Another changeup from Sheehan. He throws that pitch quite often and with a high rate of success. Our Yellowwood Bringing the Lumber feature spotlights the Braves catchers Sean Murphy, Travis d'Arnaud. They've combined now for 30 homers and 96 driven in.
Yeah, and Murph 347 with runners in scoring position, 4th best among all catchers in baseball.
When Travis hit his 10th homer of the season yesterday, he became the 10th Brave to do that this year, and that is a franchise record. The Braves have had 9 players hit 10 or more in a season 4 times, but they had never had 10 until yesterday. There's 2 things I've noted about Dodger Stadium. There's more than 2, but one, they get a pretty good wave going and they do it early, and the other is they have the loudest PA system in the major leagues.
I love it. I know.
Murphy was challenged there and swings and misses.
For our crew and audio and stuff, it's not
a little
awesome.
tough.
But when you're in the outfield and they play it, it's nice.
Kind of vibrates you.
Yes. That's how Shea Stadium was. Back when it was in that big bowl, you know, up there, it was like that.
Sean puts it in play to third. And he's out. It's the second time that Sean has bounced into a 5-4-3 double play tonight.
The bottom of the fourth. Bryce Elder doing a great job of limiting the damage in that last inning. We saw the mound visit from Cranny, and he pointed out to me this afternoon, you know, this is a guy in Bryce Elder who arguably made some of the biggest starts we had last season. Pointed out that shutout in Washington. The bullpen was cooked. We needed him to step out. He did it. Time and time again, he's kind of done that. And Travis d'Arnaud even telling me this afternoon, guys, that one of his best attributes has to be the way he always stays calm in big moments. And we saw that from him again. He goes, the way he's approaching this, there's a lot of stars over there, but he's looking at it as righties and lefties. That's who I'm facing.
And it's the maturity, Kelly, for him, like you said, in big situations like that. You walk Betts, you walk Freeman, all of a sudden you got 3, 4, 5 coming up, and you limit damage. It's been incredible how many times he's done that.
The story of the season for him. Big reason that he was an all-star after a strong first half. And even though you look at some of the starts after the break, and there have been a few bumpy ones, all in all, the numbers on the season, really good for Bryce Elder.
Man, look, it's his first year throwing every 5 days like this. So I think, like anything, for a little bit, you get a little dead arm. You got to get over that hump, and I think he has.
Line drive off the glove of Matt Olson. And Peralta's having a nice game. He led off the second with a double. He leads off the fourth with a single.
Man, I thought Matt was going to get this one, and it was one of those that was almost hit so hard by the time he got his glove up. He just couldn't get it up quick enough.
I mentioned Peralta's been around a while, and some people will know this story, but some don't. He started his pro career as a pitcher in the Cardinals organization back in '04. Got released after a couple of shoulder surgeries, and coaches said, you're going to have to be an outfielder if you're going to make it at the major league level. He was working at McDonald's to help cover his costs to travel to play independent ball in Texas while he tried to make it as an outfielder. Now here he is at 36 years old, 10 years at the major league level.
And a really good hitter in his time, too. It's not like he was just a guy that played a little bit.
Perseverance. There's another guy that's been around a long time, Jason Heyward. Fourteenth year in the bigs for Jason. First in a Dodger uniform, awaiting the 1-1 from Bryce Elder. And he bounces it foul, 1-2. Emmett Sheehan has not been stretched out in a while. He wasn't throwing a ton of pitches at the minor league level, so they're getting Miller up already and loosening. Ahead of that, foul down the first base line.
Just make it clap.
Ball boy down the right field line has been busy tonight. A lot of work.
It's good. He's getting his steps in. He's young, fit, can handle it. Just getting a piece of that slider. After the wins the last two nights, Atlanta has won 3 of the 5 so far head-to-head with the Dodgers this year. So they would need to win 1 of the next 2 to win the season series, which could be relevant if these two teams would finish with the same record. The Braves would have the tiebreaker. A pop up to Ozzie, 1 out. And the rookie James Outman, 2 for 6 in the series. If these two teams would go on to play in the NLCS, it would be, of course, the 3rd time that's happened in 4 years, and that has never happened. There's never been 3 matchups for the same 2 teams in a 4-year stretch in the National League. But it seems right now, of course, we've seen in the playoffs, anything can happen. But these are the 2 best teams.
On paper, but last year the Dodgers were the 1 seed, Braves 2, and it ended up being what, 5 and 6.
Yeah, both teams bounced and upset last year earlier than they would have liked in the postseason. The Dodgers last year won a franchise record 111 games before losing to the Padres in the divisional round. What do you think over on the American League side, Jeff? Are the Orioles for real?
I think the Orioles are for real. I tell you this, I remember I did the Mariners playoff series last year. That pitching staff, man, they can put you out in a hurry too. I think that's a little more wide open.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, Texas is slowly fading a little bit. Houston, of course, is still kind of doing what Houston does.
And Tampa's certainly still in contention, but they have faded a fair amount. They got off to such a hot start this year. Fly ball to right center. Who wants it? It will be Michael Harris taking it. 2 outs. Quick message now from Georgia Drive Chevy.
The all-new Chevy Trax, starting at $21,495. Chevrolet, proud partner of the Atlanta Braves.
It is interesting to look at that AL East. Orioles, Rays, Blue Jays, and then Red Sox, Yankees. A distant fourth and fifth.
I think that Orioles, Astros would be a good matchup. Just a young athletic team in the Orioles. Again, it's tough to discount the Astros, especially when they got Verlander back. There's so much experience there. But about another 2 weeks, it'll really start to take shape, kind of more of what you think's going to happen.
Ground ball up the middle off the bat of Miguel Rojas. Peralta moves up to second base with 2 outs. Now Bryce faces the 9-hole hitter Austin Barnes, and even though he doubled last time, to try to get him before you have to face Mookie and Freddie at the top of the order. Starts him off with a strike on the outside corner with a slider. Barnes with the Dodgers his entire career since 2015, but he's always kind of been the secondary catcher, and this year behind Will Smith. .60 pitches now for number 55. Bryce has had traffic the last couple of innings and a little traffic here. 2 outs, runners at first and second. Sean thought about throwing down to the trail runner Rojas.
Yeah, you got to come after him here. You need action. Walk the 9-hole hitter to get to Mookie Betts with the bases loaded.
Here is the 3-1 pitch, and it's nowhere near. Now things get a little trickier for Bryce Elder. The 7-time All-Star and the 6-time Gold Glover Mookie Betts with the bases loaded. And Sean calls time. And they may boo, but this place is working themselves into a lather. Maybe a good time to have a conversation.
You know, all night for the most part, man, in these situations, he's been able to make a pitch and get out. Just hope he hasn't had to go to the well one too many times.
Elder deals, and he gets him to swing out of his shoes at a sinker.
He was trying to hit his 7th grand slam in his career.
Almost fell down. So now it's no balls and a strike. And he went around. So Bryce is ahead here, 0-2. You try down again, see if you can get him to chase.
That was a changeup off that sinker in. You got him jumping a little bit at it right now. So you got to be careful. You want to spike something way out there and with the runner at third.
Ground ball to third. Does it stay fair? No. Austin rolled the dice and it paid off.
What a heads-up baseball play. Knowing he had no chance, even if he got in fair territory, to get Rojas. Had a little hook to it. Yeah, you could see, he could tell it was hook and foul.
Heads-up baseball play indeed. So it stays 0-2. Bases loaded. Bryce has what he wants. Struck him out. Got the call on the outside corner on the slider. And he takes care of Betts and the Dodgers. Oh yeah. Los Angeles, Saturday night. Frozen pizza. Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. And by Georgia Natural Gas. Live the greener life. Back in Los Angeles, Chavez Ravine. Top 5, 1-1 game. Bryce Elder, a couple of Houdini acts working out of some trouble to keep this game tied. And now Shelby Miller replaces Emmett Sheehan. So Sheehan last 4, gives up the 1 run, the homer to Acuna. And now Miller faces Orlando Arcia.
And Miller threw last night for the first time off the 60-day IL and looked pretty sharp.
So they are getting him back and in working order quickly. Orlando sends this to straightaway center to Outman. He's got it. Let's check out our Liberty Mutual Insurance field coverage. Michael Harris. I mentioned his number since the All-Star break. Jeff, you take it back to June 1st. And they're really good in that department, too.
He's raised his average from 174 to 290 in that span since June 1st. And as you can imagine, he leads all MLB 9-hole hitters in average runs, extra base hits, and majority teams, as he fouls this one off, he's batting, second on probably 20 of the teams and at least 5th or 6th in some of the others. But with the length of this lineup, he's kind of that extra leadoff hitter down at the bottom.
And a role that he has embraced and has absolutely no problem with. The outside corner 0-2.
I still think as he develops and learns his power and stuff like that, you'll see him move more towards the middle of the lineup. But again, right now, it's why mess with a good thing?
Still so young in his sophomore season. He does go down swinging there. A splitter from Shelby Miller, 2 away. Well, even with that strikeout there, the Dodgers have struck out a lot more in this series than the Braves. In fact, Braves pitchers have 30 strikeouts on the Dodger hitters.
Here, man, they're booing him when he walks up.
You said he's becoming a villain here.
Yeah, and most time I'm guessing that's the majority of Giants players that probably get booed out here. Not too many Braves.
Kind of adds intrigue to this growing rivalry, though. Well, if you did not see his homer in the 3rd inning,
you might have heard it.
Yes, well said. 454 feet and the hardest hit ball in Major League Baseball this season. Over 121 miles per hour off the bat. Out of play, 2 balls and 2 strikes to Acuna. StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud. Here is the home run. I like how the StatCast guy just admired it because that's what Ronald did.
He did. And I don't know that it went that high. It was more. That was shot out of a cannon.
6th hardest hit ball in the StatCast era back to 2015. That's not for the Braves. That's in all of Major League Baseball. Swings and misses. A splitter again from Shelby Miller for a 1-2-3 top of the 5th. Go to MLBshop.com. Get all the gear that you need, all the collectibles you need to support the Braves into the home stretch. MLBshop.com. Packed house here at Dodger Stadium. Freddie Freeman leading off. And a 1-1 ball game. They say Freddie went there. No balls and a strike. Bryce Elder, this will be his 69th pitch of the night. And he misses low and away. A single and a walk for Freddie this evening. This one is going foul down the left field line. 12 seasons with the Braves, National League MVP in 2020, of course part of the World Series title team in 2021, and a Silver Slugger each of his last 3 seasons in an Atlanta uniform. But here he is going down. A sinker from Bryce Elder to strike him out.
Well, it's so tough to get Freddie to make this type of swing. We saw him, Max Fried, do it yesterday. And that thing, everything was away, away, away. And he finally threw something that just changed his eye angle so much. Great pitch.
4th strikeout for Bryce Elder. And now for the Braves, that is 31 times they have struck out a Dodger hitter in this series. And that's in 85 Dodger at bats. A pretty high strikeout rate for the Braves hurlers. And that's one difference between these two teams. The Dodgers have not been bad at striking out this year. They're middle of the pack. But the Braves 6th fewest strikeouts across baseball.
And again, that's why I told you my big difference with this team compared to last year's team going into the playoffs is that last year's 2nd most strikeouts in all of baseball. So you get in the postseason where you can cut your swing down, put it in play, force pressure, man, it just makes it so tough on that other team. And with the sheer power this team has.
And in correlation to that, the Braves also lead Major League Baseball with a .345 on base percentage. That all goes in the same category.
think it's pretty interesting talking to Joe Davis and Oral Hershiser, who do the Dodgers broadcast. You know, they get to watch this Dodgers team and how good they are all the time. To listen to them, just amazed at what they've seen these first 2 nights from the Braves, I think puts in perspective what we get spoiled to watch every night.
He was ahead 1-2, but he loses Will Smith, a 1-out walk. The Braves got up by 6 in each of the first 2 games of the series. Hung on in both, won by a single run on Thursday, and then yesterday 6-3. Strike on the inside corner to Max Muncy. Left center. Ballpark will hold it in front of the track. Harris able to get it for the 2nd out. The crowd was excited for a moment, but Max Muncy got way underneath it. And now Peralta, who is 2 for 2. Longtime Arizona Diamondback, spent 8.5 years with Arizona, so he is familiar with the NL West. This is his first year with the Dodgers. Signed a 1-year, $6.5 million deal back in February. And he takes that pitch low, 1-1. Inside, almost clipped him. Now Bryce has had to deal with a base runner, at least one base runner in every inning so far tonight. And now he's got another one here in the 5th with Will Smith down at first base. But another runner stranded. Bryce Elder continues to pitch well with traffic, and it stays 1 apiece. Another pitching change as we go to the 6th. So Sheehan went 4 innings. Shelby Miller through the 5th for the Dodgers. And now Ryan Brazier is on here. 2nd time Atlanta will have faced him in the series. Still 1-1, low scoring game, even though there have been some base runners, particularly for the Dodgers, but Bryce Elder continues to work his way out of trouble tonight.
And I think the last few innings, Bryce has found that off-speed stuff a little bit too, getting better swings on that slider. And again, you get traffic, but you look up and here it is, the 6th inning, and he's given up 1 run.
And the Dodgers tonight 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position, actually 0 for 6. In the series, they're just 2 for 20, or the Dodgers with runners in scoring position. So not only Elder, but all of the Braves pitchers have done a pretty good job at damage control in this series. A pair of singles for Ozzie tonight. It's a little muggy earlier, uncharacteristically out here, but now the temperature cooling down, light breeze. Nice night here at Dodger Stadium.
Yeah, low 70s. It's nice, almost perfect.
A ballpark that's hosted 10 World Series, the first one way back in 1963 when the Dodgers swept the Yankees. The last one in 2018. Down goes Ozzie Albies. Strikeout for Ryan Brazier. Our Xfinity Game Changer feature spotlights the next man coming to the plate, Austin Riley. Let's look at his 15 career games against the Dodgers. 8 extra base hits and a .345 batting average.
He's reached base safely in 14 of those 15 games, and this season versus LA over a 1250 OPS.
The Braves have won 3 of the 5 against the Dodgers so far this year. Trying to make it 4 of 6 tonight. Austin Riley got underneath it. Just a hair. On the edge of the track to Outman. Brazier may have gotten away with one there. A walk and a strikeout for the Braves cleanup hitter Matt Olson tonight.
Time for Matt to break out right here.
You know, when you predict things, you're kind of like Nostradamus. They usually come true. So hopefully you just spoke it into existence. Still leads all of baseball by a wide margin in RBI with 112 and 1 behind Ohtani with 43 homers. Maybe what Matt is most proud of, though, is his 3 triples on the season. He's had some fun with those.
I would say so.
Including one on the road trip.
But I'm most proud of him for just the taking the strikeout percentage down, just doing a really good job of being able to put the ball in play. It's real easy for a big guy like that to just say, yeah, I'm going to hit 40. If I strike out 200 times, who cares? But he's made great progress in that this year.
And look, when Freddie Freeman left, those were big shoes to fill. And Freddie has played well for Los Angeles. There's no argument against that. But Matt Olson has played very well for the Atlanta Braves. Deuce is here. 2 outs, 2-2 pitch. And he takes it down and in. Ryan Brazier, who has kind of resurrected his career this season with the Dodgers at 36 years of age after signing a minor league deal with them earlier this season. And he induces a grounder to short, and it's another 1-2-3 inning for Dodger pitching. Bryce Elder has held the Dodgers to 1 run on 5 hits. 4 strikeouts, 4 groundouts, including a double play, 7 flyouts so far tonight.
See if he can get through one more here.
That'd be great. Braves have had this stretch of their starters getting through 6 innings. Trying to do that again here tonight. Hayward is the first nemesis, and there's a strike at the knees. Bryce has won his last 3 games, beating the Yanks, beating the Mets, beating the Rockies. Ozzie charges, and a glove flip for the first out. So Ozzie takes care of Hayward. Another ground ball out for Bryce Elder. Bryce's ground ball rate of 55% is the 5th highest of any pitcher in Major League Baseball, and it matches his jersey number. Up and into James Outman. Line to right softly, and Ronald is able to make the catch. A little bit of a snow cone there. It's all right with the series he's had. He can enjoy a snow cone.
Well, yes, he deserves one. The way that ball was hit off his bat, it was off the end, but that's tough for an outfielder to read. You see that at the end. He turned that glove to make sure that ball stayed in.
What do you think Ronald will go with? Cotton candy flavor snow cone?
Yeah.
I bet you were a guy who mixed a bunch of flavors on there, weren't you?
Tiger's blood.
Oh, gosh. I knew it. You just can't be taken anywhere.
Nope. That's what I bribe my softball team with. If they do well, we get a Kona Ice truck in town.
Look at that. What a coach.
If you don't, you're walking home. No, I'm just kidding.
I always saw Tiger's blood. I was like, really? That's a flavor? Rojas with the 0-2. Takes it low. You had a Dodger dog the other day, didn't you?
I did. It was good.
There you go.
Solid.
One of the things that most fans like to eat when they come here to Dodger Stadium. That one hit him in the batter's box, so it's foul. Two down, 1-2 pitch. This is an easier one for Ronald Acuna. 1-2-3. Bryce Elder through 6 innings, just 9 pitches there in the 6th. And Trevor, if the season ended today, this is what the playoffs would look like. Of course, Atlanta with the best record would be the top seed, the Dodgers the 2 seed in the National League.
Yeah, again, it's so funny because with Arizona, San Fran, Cincinnati, it's been changing every other night. Those teams are so close. You see the Philly and Cubs there. Philly the 4 seed and Cubs the 5 seed.
Philly's now 15.5 back of Atlanta, but still 13 games above 500 at 74-61. So it's been a succession of 1-inning pitchers now. Miller threw an inning, Brazier, and here's Gratterall coming in a 1-1 ball game in the 7th. He's got that big fastball, 100 right down the chute. The only lead the Dodgers had in this series was after they scored in the first inning of Game 1. The Braves responded with 6 straight quickly. And the Dodgers have not led since. But we have been tied in this ball game since the 3rd inning. Right back where it came from. And Gratterall makes easy work of Ozuna. Quick message here from Zaxby's.
Warning: Zaxby's Southwest Salad is not for the faint of flavor.
Eddie's walked and struck out so far tonight. Big swing and a miss. A beach ball came on in right field. Jason Hayward had to take care of it.
Say, it wouldn't be a series at Dodger Stadium without at least one beach ball coming on.
We were clean the last 2 nights, but that one made its way on. I will say this park, my first time here, it's done a good job of keeping kind of the history, but it also it's not like it's falling apart. I think it's well kept.
Yep.
Down to a knee goes Eddie Rosario, 2 away. Stay tuned for the stretch presented by Synovus after one more out here in the top of the 7th inning. Did you like it here as a player, Jeff? Aside from the history.
I love playing here. It's just the weather's comfortable here. It's a great playing surface. It's fun.
Inside to Sean Murphy. That'll wake you up.
We opened here in 06. That was fun. Opening day here. They put on a show.
Truist Park gets very loud. This place gets loud as well. Some of the road trips, you go to Colorado, having a tough season. Not a lot of environment, not a lot of atmosphere. Most of them Braves fans, but you come here and you do get that playoff feel.
Yeah, and it's majority of the time like that. Like you go to Colorado and they're good. They'll pack it out, but tough year. I think they've kind of moved ahead to the Broncos now.
Yes, it's been a very tough season for the Rockies. A tough stretch of 5 seasons for them. Grounder to first. And covering at first, Graterol, and it's another 1-2-3 inning for Dodger pitching, and we head to the stretch. Bottom of the 7th, 1-1 game. Pitchers duel. Bryce Elder. He was great in May against the Dodgers, only giving up 1 run. Same thing here tonight as we look at our Zaxby's indescribably good play.
He had to work a little bit harder tonight, Brandon, but that was probably the pitch of the game right there. That
you give up a gap or something there, could get out of control. Instead, he limited to 1 run. That pitch right there. The other big pitch struck out Mookie Betts with the bases loaded, and then of course gets Freddie on the front door sinker. Still efficient, 92 pitches, 4 walks, but all you can say is you go 6 innings against this lineup and only give up 1 run. It's a dang good night.
And now Joe Jimenez will try to limit this lineup as well. He faces 9-1-2 in the order, starting with the catcher Austin Barnes. You have to credit the Dodgers staff as well. They have retired 11 straight Atlanta Braves. The Braves haven't had a hit since the 3rd inning. So the pitchers have been the story tonight. Now Bryce revisiting his 6th inning performance. Eddie Rosario, a couple of steps to his right. You said you like to play here. You had pretty good numbers here. 274, 3 homers and 62 at bats at Dodger Stadium.
Huh?
And I wouldn't doubt if you had taken out your pitching wedge after a game with a couple of balls out there.
I can tell you, I thought about that a lot out there in the outfield.
Joe Jimenez with a slider to start off Mookie Betts.
Take a big old pelt.
I don't know that you want to do that. Well, the Braves fans often serenade Ronald Acuna these last couple of weeks with MVP chants. Mookie Betts was hearing them there from the Dodger fans.
I've seen him chase a little bit tonight. Not used to seeing that from Mookie.
Jimenez almost had him. He struck out twice tonight and he's walked, has Betts. Off the outside edge again. Line to center. Will it hang in the air? Yes, it will for Michael Harris.
Boy, another great read by Michael. Outfielders so far for the Braves this whole series, man. Great reads coming in on the ball. Look at this right away. That's something, if you don't commit to it right away, then you got to hold back. And those are the ones that your pitchers love. You make the play on that and get an out.
Saw Michael make a similar catch yesterday, a full extension dive, though, on a ball that was hit straight at him. He's played really solid out there in center field. Freddie Freeman. 1-1. Dylan Lee just reactivated yesterday. It's been a while. Out a long time with that injury, that shoulder inflammation. Hoping to get back on the diamond tonight.
I figured Snit would get him in tonight after not squeezing him in last night. You don't want him to sit too long without getting in some action.
1-2. Downstairs, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Freddie, 3 hits in the series. Over his last 40 games, he's hitting just below 400. As he's continued to bump his average up in the 330s for the season. He yanks that foul. Two. Got him. Boy, Elder got Freeman pretty good in the 5th. And Jimenez with a carbon copy there to end the 7th. A 1-2-3, bottom of the 7th. On to the 8th, still 1-1. It's been that way since the 3rd inning. Time for our Ruling the Plate feature. Brought to you by Burger King. 256 homers. That's the most through 134 games, aside from the 2019 Twins. But Jeff, the Braves are still on pace to do better than the Twins did in that 2019 season.
Yeah, they're on pace for 309. The Braves have a franchise record of 4 players with 30 plus. And as you said with d'Arnaud's last night, 10 guys with 10 whoppers.
I just like when you tie in the Whopper to the Burger King sponsorship. Evan Phillips is on now.
Throw some cheese on one of those, I'll take it down.
Fries next to it. Oh, come on. Jeez. Tiger's blood, snow cones.
Give me the
now
McDonald's
no fries
fries.
with a burger. Easy. One pitch. Low and away.
The Whopper.
Dave Roberts continues parading out these relievers for 1 inning. It was Miller, then Brazier, Gratterall, and now Phillips. After Emmett Sheehan, the starter, went 4 innings. Well, tough luck there. Orlando hit it on the nose, but Betts was cheating up the middle. Well, the Braves got the run in the top of the 3rd on the Acuna homer. The Dodgers answered back with a run in the bottom of the 3rd, and since then the pitchers have reigned supreme.
Yeah, you get the feeling in this type of game with both these teams and the power that, you know, it could be one mistake by one of these pitchers to give up a long ball, and that might be the difference.
It sounded like a broken bat for Michael Harris. Dodger pitching has retired 12 straight Braves. See if Michael Harris can change that here. Down the left field
just
line.
broke another one.
A broken bat again. 2 straight to the lumber yard for Michael Harris. Well, third
It's
time.
one of those you start worrying, man, you're on a long road trip. There's 2 bats gone.
Hopefully the 3rd time's a charm here for Michael. Third bat for Michael Harris II. Bat did not break there. Evan Phillips, Dodgers' top reliever, coming into the series, had thrown 7 consecutive shutout innings. And in his career against Atlanta, he's been really good. If you include the postseason, 8 innings, no runs, just 2 hits given up against the Braves. And he gets Michael Harris on a nasty sweeper. I said the Braves got their 1 run in the 3rd inning from Ronald Acuna Jr. And here was that blast. It's our Synovus Get There feature of the night.
Man, 3-0, got 95 center cut. And did not miss that one. 454 feet, back part of that net. Can't see any balls hit harder than that.
98 on the inside corner, 0-1. How about another one, Ronald? He's got 3 homers in the series, 6 runs driven in. Did not go, says Shane Leibensparger.
You really want to bring the Boo Birds out. Park one more.
I'd love to hear those Boo Birds. Oh. Tough guy to do it against, though, here in Phillips. And that's a tough luck foul ball. 1-2. In the air, left center. But he doesn't have enough on this one. Outman is there, and again, it's a 1-2-3 inning. 1-1, bottom of the 8th. Before we get the party started in this half inning, here's a quick message from Delta.
On behalf of our Atlanta-based crew, go Braves. Delta, official airline of the Atlanta Braves.
AJ Minter is on, and for more on this Braves bullpen, let's go down to Kelly Kroll.
Thanks a lot, VG. Yeah, going to get the party started in a different way tonight. He's hoping, AJ Minter, but in asking him about this bullpen, ever since the trade deadline, the best in the league, and he goes, there are a number of guys back there that are used to high leverage situations. You think about every guy back there who's closed, and we all want to close, but we understand the bigger picture. No egos. This is a special team. But it is what makes that bullpen dangerous and unique, guys.
And in these games, you know the setup that is kind of coming to form. It's Joe Jimenez in the 7th. Now A.J. Minter getting the ball in the 8th here.
Yeah, look, they've done a great job. They've bridged it all the way through, get the ball to Iglesias. Had a little hiccup the other night, but again, when you face these type lineups, no different than we've seen other great bullpens come face this Braves team, and you know, it hadn't worked out either. But all in all, I thought they've done a great job.
All the pitchers on both sides have been good tonight. 1-1 with these 2 lineups. That is hard to do. Had 15 runs scored between the 2 teams Thursday, 9 yesterday. Now just 2 so far tonight. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Will Smith. Fouls this back and out of play to the 2nd deck. AJ 2 nights ago got the 100th hold of his career. That stat was invented back in 1986, and only 3 pitchers have more since then than Minter. And he starts off the 8th inning good here. He paints the outside corner with a cutter.
Yeah, that is great. You know, you get so cognizant when you're a hitter, look at the inside corner, looking in against AJ, that when he can put that ball there in the outside corner as a righty, it's almost impossible to pull the trigger. That ball to Will Smith looked 6 inches off the plate.
But able to ring him up. And now here's Max Muncy. Muncy hits it hard to right, but Ronald Acuna is in the right spot.
Brandon, since you mentioned the party getting started, I think we have to wish AJ a very happy birthday today. I'm not allowed to tell you how old he is because apparently he's already sensitive about it, but big old birthday for AJ, and we're going to see, hopefully he can close it out here this inning.
Well,
Kelly, I think he's entered the 30s.
Yeah.
Along with us.
He was so funny about it, you guys. So funny about it. I also think, worth mentioning, only we're allowed to give the bullpen a nickname this year. He said he can't do it for themselves. It's just, that's not okay. So be thinking on that, okay, you two?
Okay. All right. Well,
I like that.
That's a challenge for tonight, post game.
Yeah. Let's start brainstorming.
As we share some Burger King fries back at the hotel, we can talk about it. David Peralta being pinch hit for here. Ahmed Rosario checking in and taking that pitch outside, 1-1.
Well, I know, look, both Jimenez and Minter were excited to get out here on the mound tonight. Both of them gave up home runs the other night. Jimenez did a great job, and now Minter here, hopefully one more out.
Blew that right by Rosario, 1-2. You know, we were talking about parties, and Will Smith struck out. There was a chance in there for a party in the city where the heat is on. But we're not in Miami. We're in Los Angeles. Had a 1-2 pitch. Just outside.
Almost.
Two from AJ. Another one just off the corner. The now 30-year-old lefty takes a deep breath. And the payoff pitch, and it's fouled away. Rosario hit cleanup yesterday. Had a couple of hits, 2 for 8 on the series. Stepping in for David Peralta with 2 outs in the 8th. And he's battling. And Hernandez has also grabbed a bat. He's moved into the on-deck circle. And now he will come to the plate as Rosario earns a 2-out walk. That stops a streak of the Braves setting down 10 straight Dodger hitters.
Well, that's one thing with the Dodgers. They got those top 5-6 guys in the lineup for the most part when JD Martinez is in there. But then there's 2 or 3 platoon areas where you'll see Dave Roberts do this both sides. When the lefty comes in, he's going to deploy these guys with the righties Peralta and Hayward.
Fan favorite Kike Hernandez. Strike on the outside corner. Minter turning 30 today. Hernandez just turned 32 1 week ago. Runner goes for second. Got a great jump. And Rosario swipes it in scoring position now.
He almost came off that bag at the end. You know, that's one thing too, this dirt right here can get slick sometimes, and we saw Ronald the other night steal and almost come off.
It's only the second base runner for either team since the 4th inning. And now with first base open, they're going to put on Kike Hernandez. So he becomes the third base runner for either team since the 4th inning.
Man, that's the only problem in that situation. If you're going to steal like that, you take the bat out of his hand with 2 outs. 1 out, they obviously wouldn't have done that.
And you bring up the rookie, James Outman. 0 for 3 tonight. Strike on the outside corner, 97 from Minter. A tense moment here in game 3 of this series. High, 1-1. Didn't get the call. Another fastball, 3 straight heaters from A.J. Minter. And the 2-1 from the lefty. 2-2, 4 straight fastballs. Potential go-ahead run at second base. It's been 1-1 since the 3rd. 2-2 pitch. Struck him out. A.J. Minter on his 30th birthday does the job and keeps us level at 1 apiece, taking advantage of the rookie. Well, if you want some drama between 2 best teams in the National League, you came to the right place. On to the top of the 9th, 1-1. Evan Phillips stays on the mound for Los Angeles. He'll face Albies, Riley, and Olsen. Defensively, Hernandez out in left now. Rosario at second base for LA, and Betts moves from second to right field. Ground ball toward the middle. On a few hops, Rojas throws over, and there's 1 away. Quick message here from Texas Pete.
Welcome to the tribe. The Texas Pete tried and true. Texas Pete, sauce like you mean it.
Man, that ball Ozzie hit almost hit the backside of second base right there.
Braves would take anything right now. Dodger pitching has set down 15 straight Braves hitters. One run on 3 hits for Atlanta, 1 run on 5 hits for the Dodgers. No errors between the 2 sides.
Ooh.
Swing and a miss. Tense.
You got Tonkin and Iglesias warming up down there, so you got to imagine Braves take the lead. You see Iglesias. If not, probably see Tonkin.
Tonkin had a huge strikeout last night to help preserve the 6-3 win. Another one for Rojas. And now 16 straight set down in the Braves order.
Now, sometimes in this game we say right guy, right time. But you see Dave Roberts is going to go down and bring Vesia in.
With Matt Olson coming to the plate for Atlanta, he is taking no chances. Braves baseball is brought to you by Visit Mississippi. Wanderers welcome. By Synovus, #1 in consumer banking satisfaction Southeast. And by Yellowwood. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it. Back in Southern California, drama building, top of the 9th, 2 outs. Matt Olson will be the hitter, and Dave Roberts wanted to bring on a lefty to face him, so it's Alex Vesia that gets the call here out of the Dodger bullpen.
Yeah, a little bit surprising to me. Look at the average with different lefties are hitting 309 against them. You know, wasn't like Phillips had a high pitch count. That's your guy, but this is the move that Dave Roberts is making.
See if the Braves first baseman can take advantage. Eight hits between the two teams. Atlanta's last hit was a single by Ozzie Albies with one out in the third. The Dodgers' last hit came in the fourth inning from Miguel Rojas with two away. Well, at some point in time, something's got to give here. It's a tense game in the ninth inning, and my broadcast partner has tied both of his shoes in the last 5 minutes.
Lock in, man. Can't have. Gotta have them nice and tight. Now I'm locked.
You're set?
Yep.
Okay.
He can hit the home run now.
2-0. In the air. Did he just miss it? Yes, he did. Outman takes it. On to the bottom of the ninth. Last night, Michael Tonkin came on for Atlanta in a 3-run game with runners on and struck out Chris Taylor with a fastball up in the zone. It was the only batter he faced. And now he's summoned here on September the 2nd in a 1-1 ball game in the ninth inning to face 8-9-1 in the Dodger order.
And Wong's going to come on to pinch hit for Rojas, and then Barnes and turn it over to Betts. And they brought in Wong last night, his first at bat as a Dodger, and ended up being a 3-run homer. Mariners
released him in the early part of August, but Dodgers signed him to a minor league deal a couple of weeks later. And as Jeff said, a 3-run homer in his first at bat in a Dodger uniform last night. So this is just his second at bat with the team. Colton Wong grew up in Hawaii, and he actually grew up a Braves fan. Had access to watch the games back in the day, and that's how he connected with baseball at an early age. Now he faces them here in a key spot for his new team. First pitch, center field. This one's not going to leave the yard. Michael Harris reels it in. One pitch, one out.
That's a nice quick out.
Tonkin will take it, and now he will face Austin Barnes. Of course, after Barnes, top of the order with Betts and then Freeman. A double, a walk, and a fly out so far tonight for Austin Barnes. Chops to third. Riley. Wide throw. Great play by Matt Olson. Caught it, applied the tag on Barnes, 2 away.
Yeah, weird play because Riley had to wait. That ball was just hit the way it was. And Barnes, not your typical catcher, can get down the line a little bit, but good play by Matt.
Right on the helmet and chest. Michael Tonkin with a fist pump, but not out of the woods yet. Here's Mookie Betts. Fouls it off, 0-1. A packed house here at Dodger Stadium. We are a strike away from potentially heading to extra innings. Michael Tonkin ahead in the count, and he misses low and away with a slider. high and in. And the 2-2 is a strike in there. Tonkin knew it. And Betts is done looking. Another great performance by Michael Tonkin. And we are destined for some free baseball in Southern California.
Frozen pizza.
Free baseball it will be here in Game 3 of the series. Just a single run for each team. Both of those runs scored in the 3rd inning. 9th extra inning game this year for the Dodgers. And for the Braves, their 7th. And the runner at second base for Atlanta will be Nicky Lopez.
So I guess they're saying they think Nicky's faster than Matt Olson?
That is correct. Matt made the last out in the 9th. So Nicky will add some speed, replace him, and Marcell Ozuna leads things off in the 10th. We still have Alex Vesia out there on the mound for the Dodgers. Well, 8-7 Thursday, 6-3 yesterday, the Braves winning, but this has been different tonight. Skied. There's enough room. And Freddie has
it. Yeah, big first out. Keep the runner from advancing to 3rd.
But the Dodgers have nightmares about this man. However, in this series, he has been tamed. 1 for 9. He has driven in a run. And Eddie lays off the pitch. A slider away from Vesia. Braves have not won a season series or a series here in Los Angeles since 2012, but they have a chance to do that tonight. Eddie Rosario skies this to right center. Lopez will tag. And he stops and does not go as Betts fires a strike to 3rd base.
Yeah, that's one of those right there that with 2 outs now, Lopez is going to score on anything hit to the outfield, so the last thing you want to do is run into an out at 3rd. And that ball just kind of died. And again, as an outfielder, when you're using that momentum coming forward like that, it kind of makes the runner stop.
So 2 away, and here is Sean Murphy. 3 groundouts tonight, 2 of them for double plays for Sean. So he's due. Stopped by Barnes to keep Nicky Lopez at second base. I didn't think I would see a time this year where the Braves had 19 straight hitters retired, but that's the stretch they're on right now. The best offense in baseball, searching for something here in the top of the 10th. Let's see if Sean Murphy can provide it. Inside. 3-0.
Yeah, right here, you're going to get the green light. If you're Murph, you're looking for something out over the plate that you can just drive right back up the middle.
Outside, good eye. A 4-pitch walk. And the inning will continue for the All-Star shortstop Orlando Arcia.
Shortstop number 11, Orlando Arcia.
The bottom of this inning for the Dodgers will start with Freddie Freeman. Right now the Braves trying to take the lead. Orlando, deep left center. Gone. See you later. And Atlanta has a 4-1 lead. Their first hit since all the way back in the third inning. And boy, was it a big one.
What do we say back in the 8th, Brandon? It's going to come down to maybe one mistake, one pitch. The mistake there, four balls to Sean Murphy, and you bring up Arce here. And look at that center cut right down the middle. And just unloads. A lot of fans head to the exits.
Just like that, after 19 straight Braves hitters had been retired by Dodger pitching, you get the walk to Murphy, and it sets the stage for that man crushing a 3-run homer to left center. And the air has completely come out of the balloon here at Dodger Stadium.
Well, and again, I don't know how many times we can say it, and I know it's redundant, but there's the eighth hole hitter in the lineup right there, delivering that big blow. The ability for the Braves to score anywhere at any time, it's unmatched.
Now 0-2 here to Michael Harris. And you may have seen on that last camera shot, a very light drizzle is started here. It looks heavier under the lights than it actually is, but it's a pretty light drizzle. A sight you don't see too often here at Dodger Stadium. 0-2. And that misses away. Boy, how big was that swing? And a chance for the Braves. Still work to do, certainly in the bottom of the 10th, but to possibly win the first 3 of this series here in Los Angeles. And there's a solid single to center for Michael Harris.
You want to really suck the air out of this place.
Ronald?
Yeah.
Long ball?
Yeah.
There he comes. First pitch, strike that clips the inside corner. Orlando Arcia, though, what a season he continues to have. Career high 17 homers. And that one may have been his biggest of the 17. He also currently has career highs in batting average, on base percentage, slugging percentage. And he provided the biggest boom tonight. Before that, Orlando Arcia 3-run homer. The only other run that the Braves had was by this man. A long shot to center back in the 3rd. Down and in, 2 balls and a strike.
And these right-handed hitters against Vesey are not chasing that back foot slider.
Fastball up. Before last night, the Dodgers had not lost 2 straight since the end of July. They haven't lost 3 straight here at home since the Giants swept them in the middle of June. But the Braves have won the first 2 and now have a 3-run lead. swinging bunt. And Vesia bobbled it. Just got Ronald at first on a bang-bang play. One of the strangest exchanges from pitcher to first base you will ever see.
The old 1-3 roll.
But this ball was crushed. Orlando Arcia. 3-run homer. And Atlanta has a 4-1 lead. Outs here. There's your hero. The shortstop Orlando Arcia giving the Braves a 4-1 lead. Nicky Lopez over at first base. He has played there in his career. Remember, he replaced Matt Olson running in the top of this inning. And Jeff Raisel Iglesias will come on for the save.
Well, and he's trying to finish what this Braves bullpen has started so far. Three innings for the Braves out of the pen, 0 hits and 3 strikeouts. And with Orlando Arcia's 3-run homer, you spot him a little bit of comfort, too.
Freddie Freeman leading off. Mookie Betts at second. It's the first time somebody not named Matt Olson has played first base for the Braves since September 24th of last season.
Yeah, you're wondering if they'd move Riley over there, but we've talked about this before. You move one guy over, you get weaker at the other position. Look, Nicky Lopez is an athlete. He can handle it.
Nicky Lopez, 2 games this year for Kansas City at first base, but he's played all over. Second, third, short. He's a utility piece. Freddie reaches for it. And he's got it. Battling the drizzle drops here at Dodger Stadium for the first out. That's a big first out.
And really, if you think about it, the one thing the Braves have done, and Bryce Elder in particular, for those 6 innings, the Dodgers now 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position and 2 for 22 this series.
Bryce worked his way out of several jams. Now the biggest one, the bases loaded there in the third when he only gave up the 1 run. They had him loaded with nobody out, and he got this guy Will Smith to ground into a double play. Right field, well hit. Acuna back, and it just goes foul.
Good catch.
Nice catch. Thankfully, it was right to the foul pole from our vantage point. Kid wanted the ball.
Yeah.
Not sure. We'll see how that ends up. There you go.
Yeah. Nice guy. No, I want it back. Sorry, pal. You're a Braves fan.
Let you have it for a minute. 1-1. 1-2. Well, I said it yesterday, but the Braves exercising some demons here in this series at Dodger Stadium, a place that historically has not been very kind to them. Braves with 5 wins in the last 25 games here coming into this series, but a chance to take the first 3 of 4.
Make it an 8-1 road trip going into the final day with Uncle Charlie on the mound.
Not too shabby. Tap towards short. Ozzy's actually going to get to it, but he won't have a play. So an infield single for Will Smith, and they are at the corners.
Man, that ball wasn't hit hard at all, just in no man's land. Not much they could do.
And now Max Muncy. We've said it before, you've got to be careful with this guy. Even though he has not hit for average this year, he does have 32 home runs. Skied, and this one Off the netting. Boy, Austin was there. Just not enough room, barely.
It almost came back. You know, the other night in the first game when it was first and second, 1 out in the 9th, Iglesias had a 3-1 count on Muncy and threw his best pitch, that changeup, and got him to fly out off the end of the bat.
That wind is blowing in from that left side. High in the air to center. Michael Harris takes it. Betts will tag, come in and score. Not worried about that. 4-2, 2 down.
Yeah, at this point of the game, you will trade an out for a run any day of the week.
Before this inning, the Braves got their run in the 3rd, the Dodgers their run in the 3rd, and now the Braves 3 and the Dodgers 1 in the 10th. And Ahmed Rosario is the batter here for Los Angeles. Now they will let Will Smith take second base. 1-1. Swing and a miss. 1-2. A slider from Iglesias. Rysell looking for his 28th save of the season. And he's got it. And the Braves win. They clinch the series win. They clinch the season series win over the Dodgers. And your hero tonight is the all-star shortstop Orlando Arcia with a 3-run homer in the top of the 10th.
Man, what a game. In a game that you just felt like the Braves started to get stale on the offensive side of things. This is where we talk about they have so many strengths. The bullpen for the Braves did the same thing to the Dodgers and kept you in it. And look, you got past Gratterall, you got past Phillips, some of their high leverage guys, and they brought in Vesia. He made the crucial walk to Murphy, and of course Arcia delivered the big blow. This team keeps rolling, man. It's so much fun to watch.
And the Braves get win number 90 tonight. It's the fastest time in franchise history the Braves have hit 90 wins. They do it in their 135th game of the season. And the beat rolls on, folks. We'll do it again tomorrow. It's a matinee. We'll go on the air at 3:30 Eastern. So we will talk to you then. Thanks to our entire crew for their awesome work. Jeff Francoeur to my right. For Kelly Kroll downstairs, I'm Brandon Gaudin signing off. Stay tuned for the postgame show coming up next, presented by Xfinity. So long, everybody.